Now, another North American animal that has extended its range is the gray squirrel. This Native American, you could say, animal was introduced to a similar habitat in England. The result is that the gray squirrel is flourishing there. It's a great example of the role that opportunity plays in distribution. Let's learn more about gray squirrels in this video.
Bushy tail and relatively small body give this animal away. It's a gray squirrel, a common sight in the forests of southern Oregon. These squirrels are such familiar sights because they come out during the day. Unlike some species that are nocturnal, gray squirrels are primary consumers. They feed on the seeds of plants rather than the plants themselves. Gray squirrels seem to take their human neighbors in stride. In fact, when I've been too close to a squirrel, I've been scolded, fussed at. In the forest where I live, squirrels mostly go about their business of gathering seeds, ignoring me and my family. Here we watch a gray squirrel stripping a pine cone, seeking the seeds inside. Squirrels are busy in the fall, storing up seeds for the winter, when food may be scarce. In English, we have some sayings about squirrels. One is to squirrel away something, which means to save it. Another is to say that someone is squirrely, meaning they can't seem to be still. That's especially applied to children. Some teachers even refer to their whole class on some days as being squirrels. One of the movements of a squirrel is no movement at all, whether on the ground like this, or on the side of a tree. Squirrels sometimes stay perfectly still to avoid danger. Other times, they make a run for it. This squirrel is getting seeds from this grassy plant. It disappears among the vegetation. That's another adaptation of squirrels, to blend into their surroundings. Can you see the squirrel now? Now it's back at work harvesting seeds from the plants. Notice the eyes on the side of its head, allowing it to spot approaching predators. Squirrels have good control of their forepaws, helping them strip the seeds from the plants. These same forefeet have claws that make them great climbers of trees. Look how much control this squirrel has of this fir cone it's picked up. It holds the cone up to its mouth. That's where its sharp teeth strip the cone. This western gray squirrel is distinct from the eastern gray squirrel. It's a smaller squirrel. Notice the narrow ears with rounded tips and the oval walnut-shaped eyes. Also, note the white belly. If you listen carefully, you can hear it eating. Having finished this cone, it seeks out another and finds one that's just right. These squirrels nest in trees. That's where they raise their young and store their food. It's rare to see a baby squirrel on the ground, but not the adults. Feeding on the ground like this squirrel is when I see squirrels the most. That and chasing each other around tree trunks. Squirrels have their playful moments, but mostly they're about getting food.
You're watching Ramping Up Your English on RVTV Voices. This is segment 3 of episode 51. And in this episode, we've taken a look at the habitats of Virginia opossums, raccoons, and gray squirrels. Besides all living in North America, these animals have some things in common. And we can look for patterns as we learn more about gray squirrels. Our primary source of information, we're using the wildlife card published by International Masters Publishers, and this is one about gray squirrels. These cards, known as Wildlife Explorer cards, contain accurate and well-organized information about animals. So, What we're looking at here is some of the information found inside about the habitat of gray squirrels. We find information about the types of areas that meet the habitat needs of gray squirrels in contrast to the information we learned about raccoons. This section doesn't go into detail about what the gray squirrel eats. Most of the detail is about the type of woodlands they inhabit and the importance of their shelter, the dray, or the nest where squirrels sleep and spend much of the winter. Now here are some more informations about wildlife cards. Notice the words adaptable in the first and last sentence. And that brings us to the feature that we're looking at here. So that's common among the three animals we're looking at today. The Virginia possum, the raccoon, and the gray squirrel, all highly adaptable around human habitation. Now, they also inhabit woodlands, and this book from National Geographic has all kind of information about woodlands. It's the kind of book you can stick in your pocket. In fact, it's called a pocket guide. You might find one at the library, and you might find this by visiting the National Geographic website and see if they still offer subscriptions on those. If you've chosen an animal in which to research and write a report, see what you can find out about the habitat and how the habitat relates to the animal's distribution and range. Remember, while habitat and range were often related, an animal's habitat is where its needs for food, water, shelter, and space are found. The range is the geographic area where the animal has been found to live. All the materials used in this episode can be found at my website, letscreate.org. There you can watch this episode again and find all the episodes of Ramping Up Your English. This is episode 51, Habitats. You can also watch and even download all episodes of Ramping Up Your English on archive.org/details/roguetv. Use the search box by entering Ramping Up Your English. You'll also find the episodes there, all of them. So Ramping Up Your English can be seen in Ashland on Channel 15 on the Ashland Home Network and in the rest of Southern Oregon on Charter Cable Channel 182. Showtimes are 8 o'clock a.m. on Mondays and 7:30 p.m. on Thursdays. Showtimes will vary in different areas. Check your local public access and education stations. I want to thank my director, Denise Ross, and my talented and royal crew. They're not royal, they're loyal though. And I want to thank you, our viewers. All of you help make this program an award winner. So join us next time for Ramping Up Your English. I'm John Letts.
You've been watching Ramping Up Your English, a support program for intermediate level English language learners. Learn more. Visit our website at letscreate.org. You can also watch or download today's program at archive.org/details/roguetv. Join us next time on RVTV Voices for Ramping Up Your English.